Hello and welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are here at GameSlice 2021, presented by JoyDrop, the event for game devs to playtest and give feedback on each other's unfinished, unreleased, or early access projects. We are here with Artur Kopinski with the project Jupiter Moons by Rockin' Bushes. Artur, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are
Awesome.
you?
I am doing great. I got myself a coffee and I am running through these interviews. I love it. So, just to start us off, for those of our viewers who do not know, could you please tell us a little bit more about what Jupiter Moons is? What is the game?
Okay, game is basically roguelike deck builder game similar to Slay the Spire, but it's also inspired by some mech games or FTL, Into the Breach, BattleTech. So it's a mix of both types of games. Deck builders, turn-based strategies with mechs.
Awesome, awesome. Are you like? I'm kind of curious. Is your team a big fan of, say, mech animes or any particular movies? Like, why did you guys decide to go in the direction of mechs?
I actually love BattleTech. I played MechWarrior, but I don't like FPS games. But I do like strategies, so it's mostly Into the Breach and BattleTech
Awesome,
was the main inspiration.
awesome. Yeah. When I first saw the game myself, I thought it was like genius. They were putting the cards in where the dashboard would be to control the mech. So awesome, awesome use of UI there. So for your project at Rockin' Bushes, how big is your team?
It's 3 person right now, 3 people. Me, I'm doing coding and designing. I work with an artist who is doing all the art and animations, and my wife is helping with marketing.
Oh, that's awesome. Where are you guys based?
In Poland, in Warsaw.
In Poland and Warsaw. So we already talked a little bit about the inspirations of the game of this game. So you mentioned what other you mentioned some indie games that inspired you specifically for this game. What made you want to build? Like, did the mech idea come first? Hey, I want to make a game with mechs, or did the deck builder idea came first? So what started you off on this path?
It was deck builder idea because I personally play a lot of roguelikes and deck building games. I was thinking about doing some traditional roguelike game, but those were probably much harder, more time consuming the deck builder game to make it properly. So yeah, I thought about deck building games, and then I started to think how to make it unique enough that there is no this type of game on the market yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with Mech Idea.
How long have you guys been working on this?
Uh, in October, it will be 2 years from the first prototype.
Oh wow, awesome. In that process, what has been sort of the most, sort of the best part of this development process, or the most enriching?
For me, it was learning shaders because I knew how to do some programmings and things like that. But for the game development, I didn't have any previous experience with shaders, and they can do really awesome stuff. And they're completely different type of programming. You have to think differently when you write them. So for me, it was learning the shader programming.
Yeah, and I will say, and I think I've said this already, but I will continue to say because it is very true. The game is absolutely gorgeous. So good job to your artist, and clearly all the shader work you had to do to get this working. In that process of developing not only the shaders but the game as a whole, are there any lessons you wished you had learned sooner in the process?
Uh, Probably that marketing takes a lot of time to do right, and people that just start with it will make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, marketing is the hardest part of whole experience with game development for me.
All right. Well, hopefully we can help you out here this year as well as we get this game out in front of our audience. Um, is this sort of the first project Rocket Bushes has worked on, or have there been other games before this one?
Uh, as a team, it's first project. I made one mobile game
Mhm.
previously, but I don't know if it's listed anymore or it's unlisted. Yeah, but I made mobile game.
So people who are just starting out their development adventure, let's say, you're getting closer and closer to release for this game. What advice would you give indie developers who are just starting out their adventure or journey?
To show their games as soon as possible to as many people as possible, even if it looks ugly, to get early feedback and change your game based on this feedback. As soon as you have something to show, just show it. Yeah, because I did a lot of changes to the game based on the feedback from early prototypes. From the visuals to how different cards play and different mechanics. So yeah, just show the game as soon as possible.
So that begs the question. I'm kind of curious. What was the most dramatic or like large change you made based on some feedback you got?
I'm changing right now how the action points and hit management in the game works. It will be completely different system. And it will also change how cards are played. Because in usual in deck builders you have those mana points, usually how they are called, and I'm just probably dropping the whole mana system, action point system, in the favor of doing more mech type of card playing with different resources.
Okay. All right. Awesome. How do I want to ask this? For you personally, and this is more of a question for you as a developer in this project, what was your path into game development? Because there's a lot of different people all over the industry. How did you end up where you are right now?
I worked for 15 years as IT programmer in different business areas, as a contractor and things like that. And at some point, I had enough capital saved, so I could just start with game development. So yeah, I'm pretty old, so I came into the game development.
Alrighty, out of curiosity, so you have a lot of experience in development then.
Yes.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back to something else now that you've been doing it?
No.
So you've been enjoying it then, I take it.
Yeah, because yeah, we'll see. If game is not commercial success and I don't have more money, I will have to go back to do business IT projects. But I didn't like it because mostly it was for me at this stage of career. It was more like people management, doing some architectural design, things like that, and it wasn't just programming. And with the game development right now, I can just do low-level stuff, and I really like it.
So you came from a place that wasn't necessarily game development. Of course, it was very closely related. On that transfer into game development, what surprised you most? Like, what were you expecting, and what surprised you most about those expectations when you were coming into game development?
Probably how
Take time.
Yeah, hard question. I have so many things, so many little things that.
Would you say it's maybe the people, or sort of how a lot of people come into game development expecting it to be a lot easier than it actually is, or expecting people to be one way and then they find out they're another, or maybe they think one part of the game development process is more important than another, but then they find out that actually it's a different way. Did you run into anything like that?
Well, it was more about my contacts with publishers. Because in my IT work, I also done some contracts, some negotiations, some things like that. And it was much more mature, I think, in business IT with than what publishers are doing right now, what they offer, how they talk to you. Maybe because normally indies don't have much experience doing some contract work and things like that. And I was surprised how some things worked and what I was offered in those agreements, things like that.
As you go forward with development and as you make your agreements and as this game succeeds, because I'm sure it will, I'm definitely going to get it. The deck builder. Listen, I just as a small tangent, I love deck builder so much, and I was so excited when I saw this game. So you at least have one sale, at least one. You have at least one sale, and that's going to be me. I'm very excited. But as far as long-term goals go for not just this project, but sort of the future of Rockin' Bushes, what are you looking forward to? What are your long-term plans?
I would like to release a few really short games because I'm a father, and at this point I don't have much time to play and enjoy games. Deck builders can be enjoyed in really quick sessions, so that's a plus. But there are some other games that can be enjoyed in really quick sessions, short sessions. So I like to make few this type of games so I could enjoy them myself as well.
For your kind of lifestyle that you're in right now, what is the ideal play session for you usually in terms of, I don't know, minutes or hours?
Probably 40 minutes to an hour, but 40 minutes it's maximum.
Very fair. Very fair. So this, as is the case with pretty much every game, there's always going to be a lot of bugs in the back end. Have you encountered any like weird or fun or kind of wild bugs that made you sort of laugh?
Well, I didn't expect people to find it so quickly with the game demo, but there is a really easy way to do infinite turns in the game, and I thought it was impossible at first. But after like 2 days, some people gave me feedback, so that they actually break the game with infinite turns,
That's
just from looking at the cards and doing some experimentations. And and 3 days or 4 days after I released demo, I got some really crazy scores because they were based on how many turns you take to beat the games. So people posted really crazy scores with infinite turns.
That's really funny. It's basically at that point, that's how patient are they and how long do they want to spend playing your game.
Yes, and demo is really short. There is not enough content to enjoy it, but some people really spent hours just to find all those things that can be broken in the demo.
Hey, that's a really good sign if the demo is really short and people are like, no, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna have this game broken for hours and I'm gonna enjoy it. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Awesome. Well, in that case, we're getting closer to our time with the interview, but I would love to know if people want to come find Jupiter Moons or Rockin' Bushes on your social medias, where can they go to look?
They can go to look to Twitter or Facebook. Or sign up to Discord. We have some fine discussions about the game, features, items people want to see, but also about other deck builder games or mech games.
And you can also find some of your social media information on the Gameslice Twitter if you go to look, because we will be posting that. If you're listening to this right now, it is already posted. Go check it out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's the thing, though. We want to try and give as much value back to the devs who are giving us their time and their awesome demos to get play tested during the event. So thank you so much for your time, Artur. Before we go, I do have one question, and it's a question I do enjoy to ask. Do you have any idea when you might be releasing this game? Long term, very broad.
Probably Q2 next year.
Oh, okay. So it's a little sooner than I thought. That's awesome. All right, I look forward to it. I'll put that entire quarter in my calendar, and I'll keep an eye out on the Steam page. Thank you so much for your time, Artur. You have a lovely day.
Thank you very much. You too. Thank you.
All right. Well, that will wrap up our interview for right now, folks. Stay tuned for what's coming next for Game Slice 2021, presented by Joy Drop.